So we're here. We got Point Lookout next week. So I thought it'd be great to come on and do a little quick interview on it. Haven't done any in a long time, so it's kind of exciting to come out here and talk film again. So Deborah, what made you come up with this idea of writing it?
Well, actually, the idea was Michael's. Michael had written the script, and he wanted to show it to me. And I said, you could have something here. Do you mind if I change some things around? And he liked what I did. And basically, I said, well, if you want to do it, John and I will help you. We'll put the crew together. So, Michael, if you want to talk about how you came up with this idea.
I kind of came up with it by knowing people like that in my life. Especially, I grew up right next to Belmont Racetrack, and I knew a lot of guys who were into a lot of things, and they would bring other people down as long as they were, doing what they had to do as far as they, gambling and their antics. And so I worked nights, and all these thoughts came to my head. So I said that would be like a really cool story about somebody who is dragging others people through the mud as they drag themselves as well. And kind of knocked it around, jotted it down on pen and paper. And I sent it to Deborah and John. I said, check it out. She was so, willing to read it. And I was grateful for it. And she liked it. And she said, you mind if I just, kind of go through this myself? And she put a different little bit of twist on the end. I had a different ending, and she sent it to me, and I fell in love with it, when she sent it to me. So, and I'm grateful for it because I think it's a cool little story.
Well, she knows how to write, so
she does.
You know what sells. You know what sells. We got Monmouth Racetrack right out down the street here, actually. Monmouth Racetrack in New Jersey.
Okay.
So I'm very close to that. I grew up there.
Okay.
But I know a lot of my family's right by the Belmont there. So.
Yeah, it's really funny. When I was a little boy, I would sit on the stoop, and I asked my father one day, I said, Dad, we live really, really in walking distance to the most beautiful racetrack in the country and probably the world, they say. And I said, I don't understand why we never go there. And what he did one day, he said, I'm going to take you there. He said, the 9th race will be letting out soon. I didn't understand. And I went to the gates when the people were letting out. And he said to me, how many people are smiling? And I said, not many. He says, that's why we don't go. So,
Yeah.
The story
I don't go too much.
The story at the beginning that I added, and he says that, when my dad lost his job, Mom went to the track, and boom, $1,500 later, Mom saves Christmas. That's actually was a true story for me, and I wanted to add that my mom is probably the only person who has beat the track. She has beat everything. Everything's rich, but always leaves with more than she comes with. So I wanted to add that to personalize it, for people watching it, so they'd understand the character more.
Yeah, it was great. That was a great line. I love that.
So this is the premiere?
Yes.
Premiere everything. First film festival. Michael, first film as a co-writer, and first film festival. So that's really cool.
And in Long Island.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm excited to go back there because we haven't been there in 2 years. So.
Yeah.
How far are you from the beach? I've never been there.
Point Lookout's right there. It's right down the street.
Yeah, because that was my beach that I went to as a kid. I used to get a free bus and be able to go there.
So I grew up in the town next to it, Long Beach. Long Beach is right there.
Sure. Yeah. I worked in Long Beach for some time. Yeah. I love Long Beach.
They actually have a brewery in Long Beach, but they have the restaurant in Point Lookout.
Okay.
I haven't been there in 2 years now, so it'll be exciting to go back. We've been online, so it's really, really excited to have people out and about. So,
absolutely,
at this festival. So actually, I was going to ask. I wanted to ask John about the filming part of this because in my classes in school, I've been my advanced class. I've been making them write short scripts with 2 people and going over the shoulders and doing the 2 shots and 3 shots. So I wanted to know how you come up with shooting a 2-person film with your work, your camera work.
The big part of that is you've got to figure out who needs to be shown and what you're giving to the audience. So sometimes it's more important to watch the person talking. Sometimes it's far more important to watch the person listening. You want to get reactions.
Yeah. I tried to push the reaction shots, and they've never done it before. And they were writing scripts, two people, back and forth scripts. The scripts weren't very good, but I'm like, I don't care. I want you to shoot it right. That was the exercise. So
yeah. So basically, you need to. I mean, you do the wide shot, the coverage shot. You get the pictures of their hands. This and the other thing. You watch their faces. It's just really lucky if you can get two actors who actually are listening to each other, as opposed to just, I'm waiting now, I'm going to say my line. Mike and Frank were literally, you could tell they were actually listening when they were talking. And that made it absolutely perfect, because you could watch their faces and you could read exactly what was going on in their heads, because you could tell they weren't sitting there waiting for the other guy to stop talking so I can talk now. They were actually communicating.
So when you shoot this, do you shoot with one camera, or would you put two cameras on for reactions, or you just switch it?
This one was a one camera shoot. We've done two camera shoots before, and I don't like it as much. I mean, you can get away with the two camera thing. Every time I've done a two camera shoot, it just never seems to turn out well, and I don't quite know why. It just doesn't work.
Well, somebody said, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said if you're using two cameras, you can get a pretty good shot with both cameras, but you never get the best shot if you would have just had one. I don't know how true that is, but this was also a really small shoot. Yeah. So it was easy to do two actors who knew their lines, one location. So it was really easy to do it all.
Well, it was also a really small room. I don't know if we could have had two cameras.
The first rule of indie filmmaking: what can you get for free, and how do you write a movie around it? And it was kind of, even the restaurant was in the other room. We just put a table up and use that as the backdrop. But John's pet scene was the train scene where he's looking out the window, because he was talking about that.
Yeah, when we got him reflected in the window with the train behind him and cross focuses and stuff like that, I was waiting for that shot. I had to sit there and look at the clock and wait for the train.
It's so hard. It's so hard to do that with all that kind of stuff there, and then seeing through the windows or glass or anything like that. That drives me crazy. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I like that shot a lot. I think I would have kept it for 2 more frames if I would have re-edited it, but I'm fine with it. I'm going, it would be nice to just watch that a little bit more, but I'm happy with it.
How is it, since it's a meaty script, how is it memorizing all those lines and just going at it for you, Michael?
Oh, I love it. I think it's easy. It's conversation, going verbatim, line for line and word for word is one thing. But what I try to do when I memorize something is just to understand the content, what is happening here, and what is the point you're trying to push across to of your reaction, whoever you're working with. So I just understand the story. To understand the story is so much easier to memorize your lines. If you understand the story, I know the beginning, the middle, end. I know what's going to happen, and then you get your lines down, and it just makes it easy. And Frank was just so easy to work with, so that was really important too. And it just becomes conversation. So it's fun. It's playing make believe, and it's it's like I always say about acting. I always say it's kind of like being able to go trick or treating every single day that you do it. So, but it was fun. It was just so much fun to do. And John and Deborah and the whole crew, they were the sweetest people in the world. I am so blessed that this was done in the time frame it was done, under the circumstances, the small stage that we had to do it on. It was great. I loved every second of it.
How many people did you guys have on set in a small?
I think 5.
Yeah, I think it was 5. Yeah.
2 actors.
1, 2, 3.
And EJ was the actor, but also did our sound. And Rob was my AD, but also did something else. I don't remember what. So that was Rob Graydon, who was also an editor. And then Josh Graydon was our first AC, but also doing art with John.
And he was the gaffer.
And he was the gaffer, and he also basically was the third hand in the card scene. So everybody, I think there were 6 of us all together. Yeah, and 5 at one time, but also 6, and we did multiple jobs.
Those are like my favorite shoots when it's just a few people. It's like you're just having fun for the day. But was it a 1-day, 2-day shoot or?
1.
Well, we did a couple of pickup shots one day, but just Michael outside. I'm like an hour, not even a lot. But we could have done it in one day if we wanted to. We combined a lot of things into one small location, and I felt bad for Michael because not only was he doing all of these lines, as you said, but he was also doing craft. And he was also cleaning up. And I'm like, Michael, I hope you never have to do this again, where you have all these other jobs and you have to act, because sometimes you're distracted. But then I saw it and went, holy crap, this looks great.
And I just want to add that, the crew that we had and Deborah and John, they're like the most patient people in the world. It's like, you feel like, an earthquake could happen around you, and it's okay. Deborah's always saying deep breaths. And John is like, Clint Eastwood, he just doesn't even blink an eye. He's just, it's just so, I love them because they're just so much fun to watch them work, because they're just, I don't want to get all emotional, but one of the people I loved the most was my father. And he was the kind of guy that the whole world could be crumbling around. And he was like, Michael, it's going to be okay. Everything's all right. And that's how I felt with Deborah and John. It's like, yeah, no. And Deborah's deep breaths. And like I said, John is just stoic. I got this, so I love it. It was great. It was so much fun.
If you're calm as a director, it sets the tone for everybody else. So we had some issues. There were some people down beneath us who were having a private screening and outside, talking outside the window, like, okay, there's an hour until we wait for these people to leave. But you just make it happen. And Ann and Henry Stampbell let us use the upstairs. That's actually the upstairs apartment at the Belmont Movies.
Oh.
And, yeah, so we're like, okay, we just gotta wait till it's over, and it always works out if you leave enough time and your actors know their lines and you're working with great people. And the thing about the small shoot, as you said, Chris, it in some ways, even though it's harder in some ways, in other ways it makes it so much easier because you can move quicker.
Yeah,
you're not waiting for people, and they'll work that nicely. And I got to mention, I don't know if I mentioned DJ Acosta doing our sound, but also plays Stash. And he's just such a joy too. Rob Graydon, Josh Graydon, DJ Acosta, us, and Frank Paella was the whole crew with Michael.
Yeah. They were all amazing, all really amazing, and just multitasking and helping out any which way they can. So such a great group of people,
Have you guys worked with everyone before? Like everyone on the crew before?
We have.
Yeah.
Michael was on my film. He had a short part in The Only Woman in the World. He played the DP. And we have worked with Rob and Josh, and Rob has done our editing on Confidant and Gem and the Photo Op. We did some of the artwork for Only Woman in the World, and Josh has been on almost all our sets, and EJ's been on
almost all the sets.
Yeah, almost all of our sets as well, doing sound. So yeah, we've worked with them before, so we knew there's a great synergy. First time I had Rob as an AD, but I just said, you know what, I need somebody to do this because I just can't do all of this. And he's like, you got it. So that worked out really well.
Oh, great. What's next for the film? You got to put it in a bunch of festivals, or?
Well, we put it in.
Just waiting to hear.
We submitted to Brightside. We submitted to Austin Revolution, Cutting Room, Venus.
One in Brooklyn, I think, right? There's one in Brooklyn, Deborah.
Oh, well, you're talking about Coney Island.
Yeah, Coney Island.
But we'll see. That's a hard one to get into. But I've had a couple of films in it. I think this might be their thing. But as you know, as a festival director, Chris, depends on what they get. They get 1,000 films. Maybe it's not there with the one from France, or what you just don't know. But we submitted it to a few, and then we'll see where Michael wants to take it from there.
Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. What's next for you, Michael?
Right now, Deborah had written a real short, and it's actually for Henry Stampbell. It's an interesting thing about a man who's doing time for a crime that was a total accident, and it's a really, really cool short. I'm just getting all the lines down and memorizing everything, and also Deborah's writing a story that's been going on for a number of years for me. It's a Christmas story. It's a feature, and it started out as a book, and there was some legal and personal problems with the person I originally started it with, and that's all pretty much out now. That's done and behind us, and now we're moving forward with a different script, but kind of the same feel, you know. So I'm excited about that, and you know, I'm hoping to actually get an agent soon. But you know, I have like a million things going on in my life right now, but um, hopefully I get an agent just to get some small things here and there. It would be great, but I'd like to retire from the job that I have to be able to do it more on a full time basis. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, what's next for you, Deborah? Any you working on a movie today?
Well, I'll be writing today when we finish this. But as I said, I'm writing this script called "You Tidings" that was based on an idea that Michael had, and it's now taken on a life of its own. I'm very excited about it. We've got "The Better Man," which is an idea by Henry Stampfel, which I've written, and we have a movie called "The Prof," which will be coming up in the spring or summer with. I don't even want to say who the stars are yet. We have a short called "Just Look Into My Eyes." We don't know when that's going to happen, but I think we want to do a couple of guys first. So we're working on the 4th episode of that in pre-production. Did I miss anything, John?
Oh, probably.
Schedule is all, but
Yeah.
you know, we'll figure it out.
And then you got the festival coming up too.
We do the 25th anniversary of the Long Island International Film Expo, and I am so excited about this. We just we're waiting on the 4th confirmation for our honorees, but besides the winners of the film festival, we've got Jeff Waxman, who's the executive producer of Don't Look Up, and John Wick 2 and 3 is going to be honored. We have got Catherine Curtin from Stranger Things and Orange is the New Black, and Greg Sergel from Channel 4. So we've got these awesome people, and the 4th person is even like really, really exciting. But we're just waiting for the final confirmation on that. And Lucas Hassel is a presenter. Abigail Hawk from Blue Bloods is a presenter. So we're going to have a really cool year. So July 13th to the 17th, and we're so excited for that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me for a few minutes here. And, you know, I hopefully I'll see you all in a week. Less than a week.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over to Long Island in a couple of days. First the Mets game, then the brewery, and then the Point Lookout Film Festival on Wednesday. So
what Met game you going to?
Monday night. It's
not the Angels still, right? No, I don't think so.
It's San Fran.
San Fran. Okay.
So I haven't been in a game in a long time, so I'm excited to go.
Oh, it's great.
Got my Met shirt on right now. That's not a Priest collar. That's a Met shirt.
There you go.
So, well, thanks a lot for joining me, and hope to see you all soon.
All right. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks. Bye.